Good morning, everyone. I'm back for another 6-day streaming week spectacular. And I've got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, including after an entire day of classic fighting games on Friday, how did it go? How is the collection? And how are we moving forward? Also, we've hit 70 support goals, which means today it is time for the first time in 8 years. DSP Tries It Subway. Plus, we'll talk about the schedule, some decisions that I have made about it, and more. This should be an excellent stream of getting caught up and some chill vibes. We've even got a few days this week that may throw you for a loop because I may be skipping the podcast. Who? That's right. All this and more on an exciting week beginning episode of the Level 1 podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo! Because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Oh!
Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the show. I'm DSP, and this is the Level 1 podcast for Sunday, the 18th of May, 2025. I'm back. After my day off yesterday, I feel recuperated, and I'm in pain. I woke up this morning, and I'm like, when I stood up, I guess I slept in a weird position, twisted to the side or something. I pulled a nerve, what I think is in my hip. So I've got shooting pain from my hip going down the right-hand side of my leg. I'm fine when I'm sitting, but when I'm standing up, it's painful. I'm like, why did this happen? You know, like, so stupid. As you get older, this nonsense happens. You got to deal with it. It's not a big deal, but it is an annoyance, all right? Welcome to the show. How are you all doing? I hope that you had a great Saturday. I had a decent one. I spent some time relaxing with my wife and running errands and the like. It was nice outside, like lots of nature around. At one point, no lie, we had 6 squirrels, a rat, a giant black raven, and a rabbit, all in our backyard at the same time. And my wife and I are sitting there watching. We're like, what the heck is like nature palooza out there? Going crazy. Well, spring has definitely sprung here. I hope that wherever you are, it's nice and good atmosphere and nature is out and about. So we didn't really do too much. Like, there's nothing major to really talk about. I went grocery shopping and, the usual basic stuff for the days off that we have. We actually ordered some Mexican food and had some tasty nachos and a quesadilla yesterday. That was our dinner. So we didn't cook for once. We cook all week long. We finally ordered out. So it's good stuff. Anyway, today I'm back for a 6-day streaming week. It's going to be an exciting one because we've got a big push to try to get advancement in certain playthroughs. There's even going to be a couple of days that I'm probably not doing a podcast this week in order to make that happen. Having an extra 1 to 2 hours of gameplay on those streams may mean the difference of actually being able to complete a game this week so we can have more time in the schedule for a new one. Because we talked about this back on Friday, that right now, with my current lineup of Doom the Dark Ages, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Blueprints, and then some late night streams of games like Minecraft and American Truck Simulator, there is no way that I can fit in Onimusha 2 HD this Friday. Oh, by the way, I just started playing Capcom Fighting Collection 2 on Friday, and I want to have that in the rotation. So, how is this possible? So, already, I have stated that we're not going to be starting Onimusha 2 on Friday. I don't see how we could possibly fit in a new game when we're juggling so many right now. But what we'll do today is talk about the schedule for the week, what's definitely happening, what's not, so you know what to expect, and how some days are going to be a little different, where we're going to cram in extra gameplay so that we can get further into these playthroughs and hopefully finish one of them by the end of the week. Another thing I want to talk about today is the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 and my thoughts about it. We played it all day long on Friday, and I want to say thanks to anyone who stuck around and watched me play classic fighting games for an entire day. It wasn't a lot of people. Viewership was down because I played classic fighting games, and kind of makes me scratch my head because people have been asking me for a long time when is fighting games coming back. And I told you guys I wanted to give it a really big break, that I was burnt out on fighters, and I just wanted to, come back refreshed. And I feel like I did that on Friday. Playing that game all day Friday felt very good, very refreshing, very interesting. Jumping back into CVS 2 for the first time in like 20 years. That's how long it's been since I last played it. You know what I'm saying? I am excited to have fighters back in the rotation. But quite frankly, the viewership wasn't great. It actually was down all day long. The good news is the people that did attend supported the streams and we hit the goals. But I'm thinking what we should do is maybe have it only once or twice a week. Let's not go crazy and have fighting game nonstop, because I think that's going to basically kill it. And it kind of sucks because the collection has a ridiculous amount of games in it. It has 2 different Power Stones, 2 different CVSs, Star Gladiator, Rival Schools United by Fate / Project Justice. Geez, I can keep going. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. I think more than that, too. There's even more. But how would I ever play all those games? It basically what's going to end up happening is I'm probably just going to play the 2 games that are competitive in it. CVS 2 and Alpha 3 Upper. I don't think people are going to care. I'm not going to have time to play the other games. You know what I mean? Like, fighting games take a big investment of time. They just do. You have to be sitting there playing them, learning each character, learning the strategies, learning each moveset. It's very, very time-consuming and attention demanding, I should say. There's no way I can do that with 7-8 games if I'm playing it once a week. You know what I mean? Like, just a 2-hour stream of each of the games doesn't feel like enough. I want more. And then we're out of time. That's kind of what happened on both streams, both CVS 2 and Alpha 3 Upper, because that's how I did it on Friday. The first stream was CVS 2. The second stream was Alpha 3 Upper. Each time I was like, oh, we're done already? I wanted more. I was getting into it, craving more, and then we ran out of time. So we'll talk about that today, how that's going to fit into the schedule, because we're actually doing it tonight as the late stream, okay? And then today, folks, today's a big day because you guys supported me so much last week. We have hit a goal already of 70 goals out of 100. Well, I should say out of 80 is the next reward, and then 100 is the big milestone one. And with hitting 70 goals, we have unlocked DSP Tries It Subway, which we are doing today. I've got 3 sandwiches that I'll be trying, plus the foot-long cookie. So we've got a lot of stuff we'll be trying today. I haven't had Subway since 2017, okay? And I didn't like it. And then before then, I didn't really eat it since, like, 2012. Basically, in a nutshell, here's my history with Subway, all right? I'm going to summarize it, but it's kind of an interesting story. I grew up in Connecticut, 1 block away from the original location of Subway. It was called Pete's Subs. It was on the corner of East Main Street and Boston Avenue in Bridgeport, Connecticut. That's 1 block away from where I used to live. And so every Sunday, I would walk to Subway with my dad, and we would pick up a bunch of subs. Actually, it was every Saturday, not Sunday, excuse me. It was every Saturday morning. We'd pick up a bunch of subs for lunch. And my mom would get the foot-long tuna with lettuce, tomato, American cheese, and pickles. My dad would usually get the cold cut combo, and I would get a variation of something, or I would have some of theirs because they wouldn't eat the whole foot-long. Why wouldn't they eat the whole foot-long? Because back then, the subs were actually foot-longs. They were huge. They were absolutely jam-packed with ingredients, loaded. So these were heavy, giant sandwiches, okay? They were definitely worth the money. The bread was baked fresh at a bakery down the street that they would get their bread from, and they would ship it in, they'd cut it, and you get it right away. The bread was so big. Here's what they would do. They wouldn't slice it sideways and it was flat and shitty and cram the meat in. It was a giant, swollen, beaded loaf of bread, and they would cut the top off in a triangle. So, like, basically, you'd have this giant chunk of extra bread in the bag along with your sandwich that they made because it was such a giant loaf of bread. So it was absolutely worth every dollar that you pay. And then what happened was over the years, they became Subway. Then they started to franchise. They started to spread. And then what happens is they completely destroy their quality. The quality goes down. The bread became pre-made in a factory out there somewhere, and all they would do is put it in the oven to make it rise, but it basically was done months ago, and it was disgusting. It tasted like sugar and chewy yuckiness. The meat stopped being fresh cut in store, but instead was pre-made, again, in a factory months ago, pre-sorted out in wax paper that they would literally just take the piece off and slap it on your bread. The chicken went from being fresh tasting to rubbery, flavorless meat with painted on grill marks. And I could keep going. The veggies, which used to be fresh cut in front of you every day, became sitting in a refrigerator for 7 days, soggy, disgusting, flavorless. They just went completely downhill when they franchised. And in fact, what happened was this corner area that was the original location of Pete's Subs just became another Subway location, and actually, get this, dipped in business so much they closed. That's right. The original Subway location that started this worldwide successful franchise lost business and closed when they reduced quality because the people in the neighborhood wanted something better as they originally had. So Subway has not been a good thing for me. It was great when I was a kid and just got worse and worse over the course of my life. Now, I did time to time again go back. Sometimes I would get the Subway Melt, which was turkey with ham and bacon and some melted cheese. Sometimes I would get the Italian BMT, which is, ham, salami, and pepperoni. Sometimes I would try something different, like the Philly cheesesteak or the pastrami. But like every time I tried it, I was so disappointed. I remember when I had the pastrami, I took a bite and I was like, why is it so chewy and rubbery? And you looked at the meat, it was like 90% fat. It was disgusting. It wasn't even meat. It was just like yellow rubber fat, salt, disgusting. That's how Subway was, how bad they had fallen, okay? Now, when I started DSP Tries It many years ago, over a decade ago, I want to say it was probably around 2011, 2012, okay? I wanted to try Subway breakfast when they started doing it. It was advertised all over TV and everything. So multiple times I went to my local Subway in Connecticut to get it. They had a giant advertisement on the front of the business on the glass window saying breakfast here. And every time that I went in and I asked them, hey, I want the breakfast, can I get it? They would say, no, we don't have it. So after 2 or 3 times going and they're saying they don't have it, I finally asked one of the workers, what gives? Because this is the 3rd time I've been here and you still say you don't have it. And the worker goes, well, don't say I told you this, but our owner does not believe that anyone's going to buy the breakfast or come in here for breakfast. So we're legally required to have that ad on the front, but she just never orders the ingredients. So we don't have eggs and we don't have any specialty stuff for breakfast at all. So we just don't sell it. Even though we have that ad, we're required to have it on the window, but we just don't do it. So basically I filed a complaint. I remember I filed a complaint online and I said, I've gone to this location 3 times. They're advertising your breakfast. They don't have it. And I'm told the owner refuses to do it. That's false advertising and it's messed up. You've wasted my time. So about a day passed. Okay. Then all of a sudden, one day I got a voicemail on my phone. And it was a woman with a very heavy Middle Eastern accent swearing at me, saying she was mortified that I would complain about her restaurant and get her in trouble. She's never once received any complaints and can't believe that I would have actually complained about it. I'm in the wrong, and how dare I? So that was my experience with Subway when I lived in Connecticut and I started out being a YouTuber. Then I literally didn't eat at Subway again until 2017. And in 2017, there was a period there where I was single and I wasn't cooking for myself, and I was eating a lot of bad food, a lot of fast food and stuff like that, and I was just looking for quick meals, so I went to my local Subway over here. Now, this was 8 years ago. And I said, "Hey, maybe they've changed. Maybe they're actually good." No, in fact, when I went to get it then, they had less ingredients. I remember they used to have these peppers that were like red and green and they were like tangy and had good flavor. They didn't have those peppers anymore. They were gone. All they had were jalapenos and banana peppers. They didn't even have the sweet and sour style pepper anymore. They didn't have like half the ingredients that I was used to having on a sandwich. I think carrot they had gotten rid of. They used to have all these different veggies and they had gotten rid of half of them. They were all missing. So I ended up just getting like a basic, sandwich, and I didn't really like it. It was like, bland, no flavor. Veggies obviously weren't fresh, and I was disappointed. So that was literally the last time that I had Subway, was 2017. Now, since then, Subway had a big falling out. If you don't know, Subway sales have plummeted. Many of the franchises have actually closed due to lack of business. And apparently Subway was accused of many different things, including not having real tuna in their tuna salad, their bread not even being able to legally be classified as bread in the UK because it has so much sugar content, they actually reclassified it as cake, and their chicken being so bland that no one wanted to eat it. So what they have done is redone their menu. Their chicken is now a rotisserie style that's supposed to be flavorful rather than the completely rubbery, flavorless grilled chicken they used to have. Their cold cuts are supposedly now cut fresh in-house so that people can't say, hey, it was made in a factory 7 months ago and you had it in a fridge stored in wax paper. And supposedly their tuna was reformulated to actually be real tuna salad again. So, today is Judgment Day for Subway, because today, for the first time in 8 years, I'm having 3 different Subway sandwiches, and I am trying a dessert. Today, I am having a tuna sandwich with lettuce, tomato, American cheese, pickles, and salt and pepper, just like my mom used to get it. I'm going to see if Subway 2025 is like Subway of the 1980s. Can they hold up? Then I've also gotten one of the chicken sandwiches, but I got a new one. They have a new one called the Hot Honey Chicken that has things such as lettuce and tomato, double Monterey Jack cheese, sriracha sauce, and a hot honey dressing. I'm going to try that today. And I am trying the tried and true classic that my father used to get, the cold cut combo. All right? Cold cut combo, which I'm very excited for. No, I'm not, honestly. But it's not supposed to be on wax paper anymore. Supposedly they're going to cut the bologna, the ham, and I forget, it's turkey. I think it's either turkey or roast beef. Supposedly now they're fresh cut and made there. And I had that one with extra veggies, and I had that one with oil and vinegar, salt and pepper. And for dessert, I've ordered the foot-long cookie. So we're going to get all of that. Actually, I have to order it later, but I'm going to get all of that. All right? And I'm excited for it. And that's going to be today's exciting episode of DSP Tries It after the gameplay segment, which is Clear Obscure Expedition 33. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm excited for this because, hey, it's going to be a heck of a taste test. All right? And so I hope that you'll join me for that after the gameplay. Stick around on this very stream. Now, the bottom line is real. Said something incredibly stupid on Kick. They said, I don't know about you, but tuna hurts my gout. You're a moron. Tuna is not a shellfish. Gout is affected by red meat, shellfish, that kind of stuff that raises your uric acid levels. It has nothing to do with actual regular fish. So you're wrong. If you think tuna is affecting your gout, you're wrong. It doesn't at all. You should actually do some medical research. Anyway. So, that's going to be exciting. That's going to be pretty cool, and I can't wait for that. Now, you might say, all right, well, that's today's DSP Tries It. Well, then what's going to be our next, reward? I'll tell you. At 80 goals hit, we're doing the other thing that we had talked about. Remember, we said instead of just doing fast foodie style stuff, I'm going to start to try ordering out at more sit down restaurants. Restaurants that now are starting to directly compete with fast food because the prices of fast food have grown so exponentially that it actually looks like it could be cheaper to go ahead and get this stuff at a sit down restaurant, takeout, rather than going to a fast food restaurant. And it's absolutely ridiculous the price of some of the food at fast food restaurants these days. It's astronomically inflated. Why would you go to McDonald's and spend $17, $18 for a Big Mac combo? What a value is in there that's worth $18 while you can go get a combo at, say, Applebee's or Chili's or Red Robin for like $20, and it's twice the amount of food at much better quality. So when we hit DSP Tries It, 80 goals hit, milestone, it will be Red Robin. We actually already looked at the menu and we saw some delicious things like a summer barbecue nachos and interesting variations of burgers and sandwiches. So we're going to try something good from there, and hopefully it ends up being pretty good. Okay? So let's get going, my friends. Let's get this week started with a big rush of positivity and support. Let's get to 80 goals by the end of the week so we can do Red Robin DSP Tries It. I think that'll be exciting. Okay? Now remember, there's going to be a special milestone marathon event when we hit 100 goals. I already know what it's going to be. I'm already planning it out, but I'm not going to spoil it as of now. I want to keep you guys in suspense, but I'll just tell you right now, it's going to be great. It's going to be a really good one. This next marathon will be much better than the last one. People will not be disappointed. I think people will be very excited. Okay? Very good. Okay. All right. Well, to start off, holy crap, Michael Knight Real just gifted 10 subs on Kick. So thank you to Michael Knight for 10 gifted subs to get our week started. Big support to start off the week. That's $50 of support, getting us 1/3 to our goal, and we just started. So that is obviously excellent, and I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, Michael Knight, for the good start of the week. Particularly, thank you because, FYI, during my day off again, we lost over 50 subs on this channel. They expired. So it'd be great to get some momentum back on Kick. I'll be honest, at the end of last week, basically we had a situation where support on Kick was almost non-existent. I don't know why. We had a few days of good support, then all of a sudden it was like nothing on Kick every day. We still hit our goals, but the Kick support had dwindled. Obviously, I'd like to maintain the level I have over there. So today, if you're on Kick, please support the stream, become a sub, or gift some subs to your fellow viewer. Today would be a great day to do that. Let's hit that goal. Let's get that momentum rolling towards our next reward of Red Robin, hopefully by the end of the week, okay? I know Mr. Papavera says, I haven't been to Red Robin in like 20 years. I actually haven't had Red Robin myself. I couldn't remember. I remember it was probably within the first 1 to 2 years that Kat was here living with me, and she moved in 2018. We went to one, there's 2 in my area. We went to one down at a place called The Landing. And I just remember sitting there. We waited a long ass time for our food. And when we got the food, it was okay, but it's like it wasn't worth like a 30-minute wait for this food. You know what I mean? If it had come fast, we probably would have liked it. But waiting that long, it just didn't feel like it was worth it. And I remember maybe we went one other time, but it was ages ago. You know, there's places that we used to go more regularly before the pandemic. And then after the pandemic, things were just different. We started to not go to different places. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so it is what it is. We're going to try it later on this week when we hit our goal. All right, cool. Now hold on 1 second because this is all screwed up. What's going on here? Stretch out. There we are. My laptop had a Windows update during my day off. So now everything was resized. I had to reshape everything here. A little annoying, but we should be all right. All right, I received my first tip of the day. $2.54. Now, here's the thing. All right? I'll address this once, and then we'll move on. Someone tipped $2.54. It's anonymous, by the way. Okay. So someone tipped me $2.54 and says, hey, did you hear what Review Tech USA did? I don't care what Review Tech USA did. I don't care what a boorish loser does. I'm eating Subway today. That's pretty exciting. That's way more exciting than anything that Boar has ever done in his entire life. And I've got good stuff to do. I got great gameplay. I don't give a shit about him whatsoever. So I don't care. Don't waste my time. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Anyway, see what I mean? People trying to derail my content with nonsense and dumb shit from boring, idiotic people who are so desperate for attention that they do dumb shit. I don't have to do that. I can just eat Subway. Seriously, I could just eat Subway and I'm good. Anyway, so let us talk now about the Capcom Fighting Collection, which I played all day Friday. All right? So, Capcom Fighting Collection came out on Friday, and I played it all day. As I said, it has a whole bunch of games in it. Both versions of Power Stone, both versions of CVS, Capcom versus SNK, Project Justice / Rival Schools, Capcom Fighting Jam / Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, and, I think Star Gladiator. So there's a ton of games in this collection, right? For me, the games that hold most weight are those that were played competitively or have a new version in here of a game that previously was played competitively. And out of all the games in this collection, that's definitely Capcom versus SNK 2 and Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. And the truth is, those two games have an insane amount of content just within themselves. 6 different grooves in CVS, 3 different grooves in Alpha 3 Upper. Actually, there's more grooves or isms, but they're hidden. Insanely large cast of characters. There's just a lot to explore in those fighting games. So that's what I played on Friday. Now, if on Friday I had seen an overwhelmingly positive wave of attention and people were like, huzzah, Phil's back to fighting games, then I would have been like, hey, this week, let's change the schedule. Let's make it so that we play way more fighting games in the schedule. Let's do this like every other day, right? But that's not what happened. What happened was a core group of people who enjoy my content and like seeing me play fighting games came by all day and watched and talked and engaged and supported, but it was like half my usual audience. And I mean that too. Like on YouTube, we barely had around 200 viewers, if that, all day. And even on Kick, it was just down. Okay, I noticed that. So it is what it is. People just aren't that into classic fighting games, which sucks because classic fighting games are way better than modern fighting games, in my opinion. I've played Street Fighter 6 for 2 different years, and they're just not very good anymore. It's crappy. It's become just a pattern play, garbage, repetitive game that's not interesting. It always looks exactly the same. I mean, take a look at my footage from Friday's Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Compare that with any footage of Street Fighter 6 in the last several months. You're going to see variety of characters, interesting playstyles, flashy attacks, combos. You don't know who's going to win. Compare that with Street Fighter 6, where every match is exactly the same boredom bullshit. It's just night and day. Oh, by the way, the old school games take skill to fucking play, too. They're not just patterns, you see? So, I dominated the vast majority of the day, won something like 80+% of the matches that I played. Completely kicked ass. Great footage. If you haven't seen it yet, I watched back some of the footage. The quality is amazing now. Me playing classic fighting games, it's so outstanding. The collection only runs at 720p, but man, my setup, full frame rate, gorgeous color representation, it just looks great. And I'm so happy because when I used to play these things, it would look like shit because my old setup was so bad, but now it just looks amazing. So I'm very pleased with how it came out. I hope if you haven't, you'll check out the footage from Friday. It's really good stuff. So, what are my overall opinions about the collection? Okay. Well, once again, they have literally, again, redone the same exact collection. What do I mean by that? It's the same exact GUI, okay, which is the graphical user interface. It's the same exact menus. It's the same exact features. It's literally exactly the same, okay? It's the same exact game. Only it's different fighting games in it, but it's the same as the Marvel Collection. It's the same as Capcom Fighting Collection 1. They've put no effort whatsoever into making this better. So because of that, it's still frustrating. Oh, I want to play the game online. You go to play it. What the hell? Why is this weird, stupid graphical filter on, and how do I turn it off? Oh, you can't. You have to quit online, go into the single player campaign, start a game, open the menu, and there's the ability to turn it off. Why can't I just do it in online? Because they didn't bother improving the collection. It's the same collection from like 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, with the online play, all right? You set it to say, I only want 4 and 5 bar connections. Do not give me bad connections. Even if it means I don't get matches, don't give them to me. You go online, you immediately match with someone, and it doesn't tell you the connection of the person. So you have no idea if this is a good connection or not. So of course you accept red connection, worst possible. But I set it specifically to only give me 4 to 5 bar connections. I never would have accepted it if I knew that it was a red connection. Well, too bad. It's the same exact netcode, the same exact system from over, 5 years ago. They didn't improve it. So it sucks. It's stupid. It's garbage. Oh, okay. You go to play online. All right, fight. Teleporting across the screen. Roll back. Kick someone. KO. But the match continues because actually you didn't kill them because the rollback reversed it. It's like, so the games are good. Capcom vs. SNK 2 is a great game. I'm telling you, I've been craving playing more CVS 2 ever since I played it on Friday. I seriously want to play more of it. I like the game a lot, even though I'm not great at it. I want to play and improve. I want to try other characters. I want to mess around with it. And I'm excited to play more today. I've been hearing the music play in my head all weekend. I'm like, yes, I cannot wait. We're going to do it on Sunday night again. But the online play is ass. Again, third collection in a row. Same people made it, same exact thing. Third collection, it's garbage. Capcom has zero effort into these collections. They're not trying at all. They just want your money. And it's pathetic because CVS 2 is a very highly played competitive game. There's no reason for this collection to perform like this. Alpha 3 Upper has never even had online play ever in anything sold. So now you could finally buy it and play it with people online, except it teleports all over the place. Wow, thanks, Capcom, right? Like, what a great way to preserve your games at posterity, right? Yeah, that's a really good effort. It's not. Once again, Capcom has just, as they say, phoned it in, dialed it in, didn't give a shit. Now, will you hear any of this from anyone else? I doubt it, because most people who are playing the collection are either being paid to, or they're shilling it on purpose to fight usual fighting game butt kissers, right? They're not going to sit here and tell you the collection actually sucks online. They're just going to be like, oh, it's great. Well, it's not. It's literally not great. It sucks. It's exactly the same as the last two. It is a ripoff. Now, if you're going to play these games offline, this is a great collection. The value is there. These are good representations of the games. CVS 2 played very well. I was impressed with how it played, and I can't wait to play more today. But will you hear that from anyone else in the FGC? Probably not. They're going to just be, oh, it's the best thing ever. Buy it now. But since it's really the only way that I can play these games because I don't have access to Fightcade, and I'll explain that in a moment, I'm going to continue to play this collection, probably Friday night fights every Friday night. And if I have extra time during a week for a night stream, I'll play it again. Because the thing is, playing it once a week is not going to be enough for me to actually enjoy it and learn stuff and get good at it. It's not. So I'm hoping I can play more than that, but we'll have to see how it goes. Okay? We'll do it together and see how much time we have. And again, if people show up, engage, and support with classic fighting games in this collection, I'll do it more often. If immediately we see low attendance, low engagement, low support, and it's my slow stream of the week, then I'm not going to keep doing it. It sucks, but what can I do, right? Maybe I'll just do it Friday nights. So I can't wait for more. We'll talk about the schedule in a sec. All right, but I'm craving the games. Can't wait to play them. Just sucks that these collections are not great. Now, why can't I play Fightcade? Because we found out that Fightcade's not secure. That you can use an IP sniffer program to get someone's internet address. And if someone has my IP, they can literally sit here and DDoS attack me all day and make it so that I can't make a living. So I can't use Fightcade. It's just too much of a risk. I've already confirmed this with multiple parties in the FGC that, yeah, it's not safe at all. It's actually kind of messed up that all these time the FGC relies on Fightcade to play these games online, but basically there's no protections at all. No one ever designed a protection in place to hide your IP. So there you go. No, you can't use a VPN when playing because that it makes it very laggy, in which case, what's the point of playing, right? VPNs are for when you're like watching something. Like, for example, I want to watch SmackDown, but it's not on TV where I am in the United States. Well, I use a VPN, and now all of a sudden SmackDown's on my Netflix account because I claim like I live in Canada. See, that's what VPNs are for. When you're watching on-demand content, you can't use VPNs and play games online. It adds too much latency, and it just becomes laggy as shit, so there's no point. Okay. And by the way, again, I have talked with people in the FGC about this. They all have agreed with me and said, yeah, you're right. You're just asked out. No one else in the FGC has people coming after them. And, you know, I guess the only other person would be LTG, and that's why LTG is not using Fightcade. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be the same situation. People would go after him. People go after me for no good. In my case, it's for no good fucking reason. You know, I don't do anything offensive in the FGC. Just these scumbags want to mess with me. So, anyway, it is what it is. I can't use Fightcade. That's why I am beholden to these collections when they come out. And when the Capcom puts no effort in and the collections suck, hence Capcom Fighting Collection 2, it is what it is. All right? Okay. All right. I received a generous $15 tip from Big Papa Phil. I could not catch the fighting game streams. I'm actually currently on a trip, but I've been catching up on demand, and it's great stuff so far. I get you're not wanting to play the collection too much, but at the same time, you know that more players will filter out over time. I think it's wise to play more now when the player bases are still high. You're right. That's why I'm playing it again tonight. I actually wanted to play it again this week too, but with my current schedule, which we're going to talk about in a moment, and the fact that we're really making a push to try to complete certain games, I really can't play it more than twice this week. So I'm playing it tonight, and I'm also playing it Friday night. It sucks. I want to play it more than that, but I really got to be careful and focus in on the stuff that we can finish by the end of the week. But you're absolutely correct, Big Papa Phil. These collections only have a consistent player base for a very short period of time, and then they die out. So that's the other thing, is maybe we'll enjoy this for like a month, and then it's going to suck, and there's nothing I can do about that. Okay. Okay, so we covered that. I'm trying to see if we covered everything we're going to cover here. Okay. Did the FGC ever try to make their own fighting game? From time to time, people in the FGC have worked on fighting games. For example, David Serlin was the major head of the project Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. Problem is, David Serlin was only good with certain characters in HD Remix, and what he did is he buffed the characters he liked. So it became this one-sided mess of a game. Currently, one of the Cannon brothers, I forget which one, is working on some fighting game, some League of Legends fighting game, but he's dumbed it down to the point where there's no motions required. You can just hold a direction, press a button, and get a special move. And it also has an insanely small cast. And by the way, he was never good at fighting games ever in his entire life. He sucked. So I don't know how he's going to be any kind of an authority on fighting games. So in a nutshell, no, really no one in the FGC has ever actually designed a fighting game that was good from the ground up. It's never happened. Okay. I don't use Wi-Fi. What are you talking about? Someone just said, DSP confirms he uses Wi-Fi. I don't use Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi that I have is for my lighting, okay? So basically the devices that can't be wired. This frame is on Wi-Fi. My lighting is on Wi-Fi. That kind of stuff. My phone is on Wi-Fi. All my gameplay is done over wired connections to the Ethernet, directly to my cable modem in my office. Okay. I don't know why you would think that I'm using Wi-Fi. More nonsense. Okay. All right. So continuing on, what I'd like to do briefly is talk about my schedule for the week because there's going to be some interesting stuff going on this week, and I want you to be aware of it. Okay. A quick break here to look at the schedule. Voila. Oops. Voila. So today it is Claire Obscure Expedition 33 continuing. I'm excited because last stream we gained the ability to break the blue crystals. And so now we're going to be able to go back to all the places we couldn't go to previously in the game. So today is definitely a recap day. We're going to go back to the previous locations. We're going to break all the crystals. There's probably going to be optional boss fights, new areas to explore, new side content, good stuff today. All right, so that's going to be today in Clear Obscure Expedition 33. Tonight on the late stream, it's more Capcom Fighting Collection 2, and it's going to be Capcom versus SNK 2 as the focus. That's what I want to play tonight. Focusing in more on the characters I was trying, but also maybe trying some new characters, and trying to get better with the certain grooves, K groove, etc. All right, tomorrow I will not be doing a podcast in the morning. I know this is weird, but there's no podcast tomorrow morning. Instead, what I'm going to do is turn the stream on to usual time around 11:15. I'm going to say hello to everyone. We'll hang out for like 10 minutes, all right, just to get everyone, on the stream. And then by noon at the latest, we're going to start gameplay. We're going to jump right into it, all right? My goal is to get around 4 hours of Dune gameplay in on the stream tomorrow, all right? Because my goal is hopefully by the end of this week to either finish Doom the Dark Ages or be close to the end of it. Now, I'm nervous about that because last week I played about 10 hours and we did 9 chapters of Doom the Dark Ages. Now, that's great for a new release, but definitely by the end of last week, people were getting burned out on it. The attendance was dwindling. Support was dwindling. People were getting tired and saying you're playing too much Doom. At the same time, people complain when I don't play enough of a new release on release week. So it's kind of a confusing feedback that I'm getting. I don't really get it, okay? I want to focus in on Doom this week and see how far we can get. Maybe we can actually beat it this week, all right? So the whole first stream tomorrow is Doom, 4+ hours of gameplay. Tomorrow night will be a late night Java Minecraft chill stream. I actually have some new skins that someone made for me that I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm going to do any texture packs. I think maybe this week we'll just do new skins and focus in because we're building the farm currently. And then once the farm is built and that's functional and working, then I want to work on getting minerals so I can actually make iron armor, iron tools, and then we can start to worry about venturing out and exploring the different biomes around me. So we're starting to get to the point where I'll be self-sufficient. Once I'm self-sufficient, then we can do other interesting things. Okay? So that's all coming up. Minecraft chill tomorrow night. Tuesday, Blueprints will be a daytime stream. Sadly, this will be the only Blueprint stream of the week. And I know that people are upset who really like Blueprints, me included. But definitely, it's tough to fit it in when I've got multiple new games I'm juggling. So Blueprints will be Tuesday. Tuesday night will be Doom the Dark Ages. Wednesday, Claire Obscure continues. And Wednesday night, Doom the Dark Ages. Just so you know, because we'll continue on from here. Thursday, there will not be a podcast. Instead, it's going to be a major 4-hour stream of Doom the Dark Ages. And what I'm hoping is between 4 hours tomorrow, 4 hours Thursday, 2 hours Tuesday, 2 hours Wednesday, right? That's another 12+ hours of gameplay. Hopefully we'll beat Doom the Dark Ages because we've got about 13 chapters left, but I've told some of those chapters are more controlling the mech and stuff, and they're shorter chapters. So maybe we'll get through it. I hope. I've played 10 hours now. I figure another 12 hours. Hopefully we beat it. All right? Now, there will also be more Trucker Simulator on Thursday night. And then Friday night is Friday Night Fights when we're going to play the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 again. Okay? So FYI, this is going to be an interesting schedule. Now you might say, well, wait a minute. You didn't mention what's going on daytime Friday. You didn't mention Onimusha 2. Like I said, I'm not comfortable starting another game until we actually finish Doom. If we can finish Doom by the end of this week, then maybe we will do Onimusha 2, or maybe we hold off so that we can focus more on Claire Obscure. We could do a little bit more Blueprints, right? We could do some more chill night streams and focus on that, maybe more fighting games, right? There you go. Okay, Thirsty Thursday, yeah, sure. Thursday night trucking simulator, Thirsty Thursdays, where I drink White Claw and play Trucker Simulator. Keep in mind, when I played Trucker Simulator the other day, it was great. We finally bought my own truck, so now we're working for myself. I'm starting my own business, basically, so it's going to be more interesting. Okay, so that's the schedule for the week. I hope that sounds good to everyone. Major focus on Doom, some fighting games, some Clair Obscure, good variety this week. Okay? Okay. I received a $2 tip. Oh, really? Here we go. LTG did Fightcade on his streams. It was short-lived because he got greeted with trolling and DDoS attacks very quickly. Only guys asking you for Fightcade these days want their favorite detractors to highlight the harassment. Thank you very much. Again, I confirmed this with FGC people. They said, yeah, sadly, they never improved Fightcade to the point where you can hide your IP. It is easily sniffable. People can mess with you. They will mess with you. And there's nothing you can do about it. So that's why you have to play the collections. So this is not me talking out of my ass. This is me talking with informed people who are in the community and know what's going on. Thank you so much for the $2 tip. Okay. All right. So, folks, you got it. Hank got it. Hank has earned the Emerald Crown. In the next few days, many people will start getting the Emerald Crown in YouTube chat. Take a look. That's awesome, isn't it? It looks really good. It's supposed to be a crown made of pure emeralds, which is really neat. So Hank says, hey, the new crown's nice. Any plans for the next one? We will definitely have a new crown next year. We got to remember it's May. There'll be a new crown for next year for sure. The emerald one was actually designed over a year ago, and we had to wait this long for people to start using it. Now we got another year to wait for that would be 5-year sub anniversary. Yeah, because it's 4 years right now because it was 2021 and 2025 get you emerald. So then after that, we'll have another one. I don't know what it'll be yet. We'll think of something, I'm sure. We'll think of something cool. But congrats, Hank. Only a few people have it right now, but more will earn it over the course of this month. People hitting their 4-year anniversaries as a member of DSP Gaming. Cool. Okay. So, everyone, thank you for being here for my return this week. This is going to be an exciting week of content. By the way, very shortly, all right, I will be starting to talk about my plans for the big milestone coming up. I'm well aware that we're 30 away from a marathon. I'm well aware that you guys want to know what it is. I have good plans. Already I got stuff in the works. I think you're really going to like what I'm planning. It's completely different. In fact, I will go as far to say I have never actually done a marathon like this before, ever. Ever. It's going to be completely unique. It's going to be an interesting I think some people are really, really going to like it. Others are going to be like, it's not for me. But I think some people are going to be very happy with it and be like, oh, that's really cool. And that's exactly kind of what we were hoping for from a cool marathon. All right? So, and no, just to confirm, it's not the Closet Festival. We're not doing that next. I'd like to do that over the summer. In fact, I'll tell you, we 100% will be doing a Closet Festival event sometime over the summertime. I don't know if it'll be July or August. We're not doing it next. I know what we're doing next. It's going to be a good event. Okay? So soon, I will start giving you the details on this. Not yet, but very soon. And that way you will know the plans for it and we get hyped for it. We set the date for it. Everyone can be, be ready for it. Okay? Sidious, I'm sorry. I'm not going to spoil the marathon. He's already asking questions. Nope, I'm not going to spoil it. Okay. So, guys, thank you so much already. Great start to the day. Let's now open up to some Q&A. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what you guys want to talk about today. Please tag me in either chat if you would like to talk, and we'll go from there. If the conversation flows, we've got stuff to talk about, great. If not, then maybe we'll end the podcast on the earlier side, and we'll jump into Clair Obscure a little earlier, which is fine. Let's see what you guys want to talk about today. What's going on, King Michael? Good to see you. Bottom line is real wants me to give a shout out to Indrid Step On Me. What a stupid name. But okay, happy birthday to Indrid Step On Me. What a stupid name. Okay. I use a fight stick for fighting games. I use this fight stick. the Victrix Pro, the Rolls Royce of fighting game joysticks. It's made of stainless steel, very sturdy, very cool to the touch. It's got high-end buttons. It's weighted, so it sits on your lap nicely. It's got the best joystick you can pretty much get for a competitive fighting joystick, and it's got crazy LED lights. It's got padding on the bottom, so it feels comfortable on your legs. Like I said, it really is the highest-end joystick you can pretty much get from what I've seen. And, you know, I use levers simply because that's what I grew up using. You know, there's nothing wrong with leverless at all. It's the new thing, the new fad. But I grew up using a joystick, so that's why I use a joystick. Okay. All right. What's up, X Shooter? Good to see you today. How you doing? What's the best sandwich I ever ate? Oh, man, I don't know. I'd have to think hard, you know. I don't really think about and like fantasize about the best meals I've ever had, you know. I'm sure I've had some great sandwiches. I'll say this, one sandwich that stands out, when I was in New York City for WrestleMania over a decade ago, I stopped at a diner deli, and I got a sandwich that was like this high called the Dagwood. Now, if you don't know what Dagwood is one of the main characters of a comic strip called Blondie. And this guy would always eat giant sandwiches with a million things on it. So this sandwich literally had everything. It was like ham, turkey, you know, roasted beef, pastrami, everything, chicken. It was all on this sandwich between like multiple pieces of toast. It was like a super sandwich. And it was insanely good. And of course, insanely Philly. You couldn't finish it, but it was very good. Okay. What is the cool video frame I have? Divoom Pixu 64. DIVOOM PIXOO 64. There's a link to it in previous podcasts and the Daily Wrap. If you look at the videos in the description, there's a link that you could click on if you're interested in getting it. If you buy it through that affiliate link, I actually make a little bit of money, just so you know, you're helping me out if you buy it through there. It's great. You can add all kinds of different animations and things to it. You can add your own, or you can get ones that are previously made by the community. It's a great frame. I absolutely love it. It's a great thing for my setup since I got it last fall. Alexander T says, ever thought of doing a subathon? I see them on Twitch during September, and check out Party Animals for a fight night idea. It's something different. I know what Party Animals is. It's a silly party game. I've seen it before, like the cartoonish animals beating each other up, right? So explain to me the premise of a subathon. How does a subathon work exactly? I'd like to hear it. How does a subathon work? Because I don't understand the premise. I've heard different things. Like some people just stream and they have a goal for subs. Others, it's like it's a marathon that extends the length of the marathon if they get a certain amount of subs or something like that. But I don't really understand how it would work. Okay? Can you explain how it works to me? By the way, Davey, thank you for 3 months as a member. He says, "Sup, King? Good to see you." Good to see you, Davey. And what's up, Dungeon Keeper's Mistress? How are you? How's it going? Subathon is because subs are on sale on Twitch in September. Oh, what does it mean, though? What is a subathon? Excuse me. Would I consider playing Killing Floor 2? Only if someone nominated it for an event or like Halloween. I wouldn't just play it out of the blue, no. Yes, my TV has variable refresh rate. Yes, it does. Each sub makes you stream X amount of time more, 5 minutes or whatever. Well, let me put it this way. If we were to do a subathon, it couldn't be a memberthon because memberships on YouTube are abusable with a VPN, right? We already know that. So that couldn't count. It would have to be like verifiable contributions. So for the most part, subs on Kick have been reliable. That's the other thing too. Like someone will be like, "Oh, I'm going to drop $100 tip to make you stream another hour," and then they charge it back. Right? So it would have to be something that's completely 100% verifiable. So I guess Kick subs would be that. Super chats would be that because you cannot charge back a super chat. That's true. I guess that's what it would have to be. It would have to be just Kick subs and super chats on YouTube are the two things that would count towards it. Or if people who I trust, like for example, there's longtime supporters who I know, and so if they tip me, I know who they are, and I'm gonna believe them. They're not gonna charge me back. They've been supporting me for years and years, so that's a little different. But some joker coming in, I dropped a $500 tip. He has to stream for another 5 hours, and then they charge it back after the fact because they're some crazy criminal idiot. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Exactly. So that's the thing. I'm not going to do stuff that's completely unhealthy. No, I'm not going to be streaming for multiple days in a row because people are supporting me. That's ridiculous. Is it more important for me to do one big dramatic event that lasts a day and a half, but I make thousands of dollars doing it? Or is it more important that I'm here consistently to make content for you that you can trust, right? I'm not hurting myself, but instead, you know what I'm saying? It's more reliable stuff. Because I think you guys would care more about me actually making consistent content that's meaningful, that's positive, that ongoing playthroughs, ongoing podcasts, that kind of stuff. And then you support those individually stream by stream rather than me saying, "Hey, I'm doing a subathon and I'll be here for 48 hours straight, but then I'm going to be sick for like 2 weeks and I'm not going to stream." Wouldn't you get more out of the consistent content than the 24-hour, 48-hour me destroying myself and not being around? Jade Van Zyl says, "How far are you in Doom?" We just beat chapter 9. So we're going to be starting chapter 10 tomorrow when I play. By the way, 2 big contributions just came in. First, we got a $10 tip from Oompa Loompa. Or excuse me, not $10 tip, a $10 super chat from Oompa Loompa. So thank you, Oompa Loompa, first super chat of the day. I appreciate that. It's good to see you. And then I just received a 20 member bomb. 20 memberships from Alexander this morning. Thank you so much, Alexander. 20 memberships for the channel. That is amazing. That is $60 of support. Thank you so much, Alexander. $60 of support right there. Boom. That jumps us all the way up to $139 of support on the podcast. That is amazing. Now, if you're wondering why are there not pop-ups, it's because morons came by this month and gifted something like, I want to say 400, 500 fake memberships. So a lot of them were divvied out. So it takes a while, but those memberships will be given out. It just takes a while for YouTube to divvy them out. So you'll see pop-ups now sporadically and periodically over the podcast. Okay. Thank you, Alexander. Very generous contribution this morning. I appreciate that. Okay. X Shooter says, "Are you hyped for Ghost of Yote?" Let me put it this way. I'm hyped in regards to the fact that I know that the gameplay elements will be great, the world will be interesting and populated well, and the graphics will be amazing. I don't know about the story yet. I don't know if I'm sold on the story. Then again, you don't know until you really get into the game, right? Once we start seeing and playing the game, experiencing it, maybe we'll be like, "Oh, the story's great too." But for now, I'm looking forward to the game when it comes to all the gameplay elements. So, if a Cowboy fan says, how are things going so far? They're going pretty good right now. Said, have I taken a look at the trailers you suggested? Sadly, no, I have not. I owe you and Mr. Papavera an apology because both of you guys have sent me some stuff over the week that I still haven't checked out. I keep forgetting because I'm busy and then I get wrapped up in other stuff. It's totally on me. It's not, it's my fault and I'm sorry for that. And he said, what did I think of the collection on Friday? I've already talked about it in an earlier segment. I like the games. They're fun as hell. The collection itself is poor, meaning it was not made well. It's exactly the same as the last 2 collections. The menus haven't even been changed, and the online play sucks. You set it to 4 to 5 bar connections, and it gives you red connections. So it's a broken collection, just like the last 2. Capcom / whoever they hired put no effort in, which is sad because these collections deserve more effort for posterity purposes. Preserving the classic fighters is worth time and effort, and they don't put it in. But I'm still enjoying it, and I'm playing it more tonight because it's the only way I can play the classics. So I guess we're just going to play laggy versions tonight and see how it goes. Okay. Am I going to stream the Xbox Showcase? Likely, yes. I have to look up the exact times because I think that if I remember, Summer Game Fest, I believe, is June 6th. And then I think the Xbox Showcase is June 8th. But I have to look at the dates and everything and see what days they are. I have to try to figure this out. Here's the thing. I want to live stream and react to them, but when I did this previous, it didn't work. People didn't like it. When I did it, people weren't showing up, or they showed up, but they didn't engage in support. So I did the live react, and I actually didn't make as much as when I was playing games. So is it worth it? Like, that's the real question here. Is it worth it for me to do a big live react event if people don't really care about it? They didn't seem to last time. So I'll have to think about what I want to do. I would like to do a live react, but I guess we'll have to see if people are going to actually care. What's in the mug? Filtered water. I drink filtered water every day in my official Level 1 podcast mug, which you can get at darksidephil.shop. I don't think I've actually said that on stream in 2 months. I do have a merch store, if you're not aware. darksidephil.shop. All right? I sell that mug in 2 different variations. I sell t-shirts. I sell hoodies. I sell all kinds of stuff. Give it a look. If you buy anything from the shop, it actually helps me out. I get a good cut of it, and it supports the business. But I haven't talked about it in months because I haven't really had anything new on there. Okay? Is there anything I won't do for money? There's tons of things I won't do for money. I've been offered money many, many times over the years for many different things that I've always turned down. I wasn't going to be a part of Lol Cow Live because I didn't want to be a part of something that seems to be exploitation or toxic content. Okay. I've never accepted payment for people wanting me involved in various different kinds of content and shows. I didn't do it. It's one of the major reasons why I had the split with Kino Casino, because they were pushing me in a very toxic, negative direction that I didn't want to go, and they were trying to force me to do it, which I didn't want to do. And I know that I made the right choice at this point. Okay. I've been offered money over the years to shill product constantly. Will you play our game? And we'll pay you as long as it's a paid advertisement. We'll pay you to play. No. If I'm going to play a game, it's going to be an honest reaction and opinion. I'm not going to lie to my audience and say that something is good just to take a paycheck. I refuse to do it. I'm not going to do paid sponsored content. I don't stand by that kind of content. I think it's garbage. Okay. There's just many things that I've been against over the years. Tons of things that I could have made it big. I could have gotten rich. I could have been 10 times bigger than I am now, but I refuse to do it. I stayed stuck, basically, I'm a very stubborn guy. All right. I stay with my morals and values. I stick to my guns on my beliefs. And a lot of people just have decided not to do that. They say, throw everything away because it means that you can get popular and you can get rich. And I've never, ever done that. So that really makes me stand out from a lot of people who've been doing it as, on YouTube or Twitch or wherever. They just become these fake people. They're just there to make a paycheck. That's it. They're not there. There's no passion in what they're doing. For me, it's the complete opposite. I literally put up with all the online harassment and the crap I go through because I have passion for what I do. Even if it means that the entire internet can't understand how I'm just so different and I won't just take the bag, right? Well, 'cause I'm not like you. Because I don't take the easy way out because I'm not a simpleton. It's that simple. No, we're not getting the Subway nachos. We're doing the chocolate chip cookie, the foot-long cookie. Alexander T just did a $10 super chat. You should play Among Us with fans sometimes. That would be great for a stream. Now to be honest, I didn't even think about it. Everyone plays Among Us on PC. That was one of the things that kind of held me back from doing it, was that I was always a console gamer. If I did it, you're right. If I did play Among Us, it would have to be with people I trust, like fans I know, as opposed to let just anyone in and then they just ruin it for everyone because the troll or whatever. I never really thought about it, actually. You know, those kind of games I don't really put thought into because I just, the social games aren't something that I've ever really been into. Um, but I guess it would be possible if I set it up properly with people who I know I can trust. But, you know, it's much like everything. Like, you notice I don't play any co-op games usually. I don't play It Takes Two. I don't play Split. What's it called? Split. I can't remember what it's called now. Whatever the one that just came out from the studio that made It Takes Two, right? I never play those games. I don't play online cooperative shooters. Most of the stuff I do is either competitive multiplayer or single player. So, you know, that way I don't have that liability of some idiot coming in and trying to ruin it. Split Fiction, that's what it's called. Thank you. Oh, no, I'm aware that there was a mod for Clair Obscur to fix the cutscenes, and when they say fix, I mean just higher frame rate, but I don't really care. I think the cutscenes are fine. The graphics are good enough that it doesn't really matter that the cutscenes drop in frame rate. If a Cowboy fan, right now I want to do Q&A with the viewers, because, you know, I'm coming back from break. A lot of people have stuff to talk about, but if things slow down, maybe we'll watch some trailers. We'll see. I'm not going to eat the whole foot-long cookie. Are you crazy? I'll have a little bit of it just to try it, and I'll probably save the rest. You know, I'm not going to eat a foot-long cookie on stream. I'm already getting 3 sandwiches. There's an option to hide the room code, but Among Us in its options. I figured there was a way to set it up private. I mean, can you imagine? How did any other streamer do it, right? Because those streamers have set up games where they're just exclusively with other streamers and stuff. So I'm sure there's a way to privatize it and do it. You know what I mean? Have I ever played a Digimon game like Cyber Sleuth? No. I'm well aware of what Digimon is, but during that era, you know, it all started with Pokemon. And I played Pokemon Blue. That was the original Pokemon that I played back in the day on my Game Boy Pocket in the 90s. All right. But then everyone kind of got into that fad. It was like Digimon. There was another one too. There was like 3 or 4. Oh, Beyblade, right? That was the other one. And then, excuse me. And then there started to be other things that got popular, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. But I never got into any of them. You know, it was just Pokemon for me. Why? Because I was heavily into competitive Street Fighter at that time. So I really wasn't focused on playing a lot of console video games. I wasn't focused on anything than really traveling and playing Street Fighter. So from like the very late 90s until like 2007-ish, I was just a Street Fighter guy, hyper focused on that, traveling to tournaments, playing competitively, you know, entering events. Every console game I had was Street Fighter. It was like I had Dreamcast to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Third Strike and CVS 2, and then I got a PS2 because PS2 had a better version of CVS 2 than the Dreamcast, and it had had better version of Third Strike as well. So yeah. All right, I got some more contributions. We had a Beeb who did a £1 super chat. And then 100% British Beef did a £10 super chat. Now, the pound is worth a lot more than $1 right now, I believe. Isn't it? Because I want to confirm. Yeah, see? It's worth $13. There you go. So thank you. So technically, 100% British Beef is our biggest super chat of the day. We're $13, so that gets us up to 163. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. We're still on the podcast. We haven't even booted up Clair Obscur yet. And we have hit our first support goal of the week. Thank you all for supporting DSP Gaming. Positive, meaningful content. Not offensive, not bringing down anyone else, but still being successful every single freaking stream. No matter what I'm playing, no matter what I'm doing, you guys are here. We hang out, have a great time, and you support me, and I appreciate you so very, very much. We're heading towards our next reward, a Red Robin, later on in the week. The sooner we hit the goals, the sooner we try it. I'm excited for Subway today. Red Robin should also be a good one. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for this support. Appreciate it. All right. Good stuff. Thank you, guys. And now, of course, we're not even done with the podcast. This is a possibility for a double gold stream. We could actually hit a second goal by the end of Claire Obscure around 4 p.m. Keep in mind, we are doing DSP Tries It Subway today, so this is an extended stream that will go past probably almost till 5 p.m. Pacific time. Alexander says I should check out a game called Quarantine Zone: The Last Check. The demo goes live on the 22nd of the month. It's like Papers, Please, but with zombies. Really? Like Papers, Please, but with zombies. That sounds interesting. That sounds like something that would be good for like Halloween. You know, like Halloween, like playing in October. Excuse me. What's up, Kickapoo? How you doing, man? Oh, no, I don't think I'll be partnering with any gaming studio to make video games. I don't think so. We're doing 3 different Subway sandwiches today. We're doing tuna. We're doing a rotisserie chicken. It's the new one, the hot honey chicken. And we're doing a cold cut combo. And I got the foot long cookie. So we're taste testing all of those today to see what's good. I played Max Payne 2. Yes, we played it back. Wait. We didn't, did we? Now that I'm thinking about it, we never played Max Payne 2. We only played Max Payne 1. Oh, crap. Yeah, I just realized we only ever played Max Payne 1. Huh. So, never mind. You know, when they remake Max Payne 1 and 2, probably then that will be when I play it. That would make sense to replay it then when it's redone, right? Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Ether335 just gifted 5 subs. Thank you so much, Ether. Thank you for this nice support today on Kick. Like I said, sadly, last week we had a big slowdown of Kick support. And this is good because to have a good, strong start of the week is excellent over on Kick. I appreciate you guys for your support this morning. That's 25 more bucks of support. Gets up to 188 out of 300. That'll be our second goal of the stream. You get us closer to Red Robin later in the week. That'd be excellent. Alexander said you should have got the meatball sub. I used to get those back in the day when Subway was good. Well, the thing is, that's another one I would have liked to try. And also, I would have liked to try either their pastrami or their steak. But it's like, how many sandwiches can I eat in one day? This way, I've got the tuna that used to be the classic my mom used to get, the cold cooked combo, which is the classic my dad used to get, and the chicken that's supposed to be the better, new, improved chicken. I used to get the chicken. It was flavorless and crappy, rubbery, disgusting. So we could truly see if this improved or not. But I agree with you. Like, if I were to go there again, I'd probably try the pastrami, the steak, and the meatball. Try those. Will there be a marathon on the actual 4th of July, says NJZ? I don't know yet. Maybe, maybe not. We could do one on the 4th of July, but the thing is, a lot of Americans will be celebrating the 4th of July themselves, which means that they won't be around that day. Now, I am well aware that I have an international audience. Only about 43% of my audience is American. I don't know if you guys knew that. I actually have more international viewers than I have American viewers. I've just been along so long of a time that actually I have an international appeal. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. So maybe I could pull it off, but I got to think about it. I might stream that day. We'll see. Well, I might do a marathon that day. We'll see. I missed it, Ava Cowboy fan, your first statement. What did you say? Something about a sale? I told you which sandwich is. What was the other thing you said? I missed it. You said something about a sale. She says, really good price for 2 games, but I missed what you're talking about. No, the thing is, on July 4th, Americans basically cook out and have big like parties. You know, they drink, they eat, they make barbecue. Kind of hard to watch a marathon stream when you're doing that, right? Even me, like I used to get together with my friends and I used to go to barbecue parties and stuff on the 4th of July. So, I don't know how successful a marathon would be on the 4th of July unless it's like heavily international viewers, right? Am I getting Onimusha 2? Let me put it this way. I am playing Onimusha 2 HD. I just don't know when. Originally, I said yes, I was going to do it this Friday, but I don't know how I'm going to cram it in because I have so many games going on right now, which is why I'm making a big push to finish Doom this week. If I can complete Doom this week, then maybe I'll play it. If not, maybe we'll hold off and we'll play it soon, but at a future date when it makes more sense. The truth is there's no rush because it is an old game, right? Oh. Alexander says, is it worth it to buy Street Fighter 6 right now? I only played the second one back when I was a kid. If you're going to play it single player, if you're going to play the story or the big campaign where you make your own character, or if you're going to play it offline with others, sure. If you're planning to jump in and play it online, I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, the people who are still around playing Street Fighter 6 are known as what is called tryhards. What that means is these are people who get pleasure out of playing the game and basically dominating online. They have gone online and studied combos, strategies, tutorial videos, the meta of the game, which means the high-level gameplay with each character. They have memorized it, and sadly, this game is very easy to play, so you don't need a high skill level to jump into it at that level and just kind of repeat the same patterns to win. So most people who are still playing this online at this point are just people who are in it to win by any means necessary. They don't care if the gameplay is fun or fair. They just do this nonsense over and over. It's very boring. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if the first time you try to play the game online, someone just dominates you and destroys you, and you get completely demoralized. Sadly, that's the problem with playing a fighting game a couple years in these days, is because they're so easy to play that people who aren't even good at fighting games can just memorize the patterns, practice it a little bit, and just kind of dominate the game, and it sucks. It makes it not as fun. But that's just how it is. So it has a lot of content. Street Fighter 6 has a ton of content when it comes to even offline single player. So I do feel like if you bought it for like whatever, I'm sure it's like 20, 30 bucks now, right? You'll get your money's worth out of it. There's enough in there. But don't expect to be playing it online in any capacity and having fun unless you're going to dedicate a ton of time yourself. You'll have to actually study videos and tutorials and memorize stuff and practice in training mode. You can't just play it and have fun online. That's what's happened with the FGC. They've become this whole try-hard mentality, and they've taken the fun out of it. You get that? He says, yeah, I get that. I get called a try-hard and told to touch grass when playing Party Animals. I have 2,000 hours at the game. There you go. And that's pretty much every single person playing Street Fighter 6. So, just to forewarn you, okay? But I think Doom is a Game of the Year contender. I'll say this, I like Doom at the Dark Ages. The graphics are great on my PC. The gameplay elements are sound. They're getting more interesting the more weapons we get, but the one thing that I don't like is that a lot of the early weapons actually are worthless now because you have better versions, so they're just like, oh, I put all these upgrade points into the weapon and I'll never use the weapon again. That is kind of dumb in my opinion. I wish you could like respec or take the points and put it into another gun that's, more useful at, in these latter half of the game. But overall, I like it, but I don't know if you heard, it does not have the player base as the last two Dooms did. It actually has less. And people are trying to figure out why. And they're like, well, maybe because it's Game Pass, maybe because it didn't have as much of a marketing campaign. Maybe it's because it's too story-based, which is exactly what I said in my criticisms of the game. I said, why is this story feel like a fan fiction that a teenager wrote? Do I really believe that the Doomslayer was a mythical knight who went through space fighting the demons and the angels? And no, I don't believe that. I think that he's supposed to be a guy who's just pissed off and wants to save the universe from demons who are invading, period. The story of Doom is supposed to be incredibly simple. It's the gameplay that keeps you going. But instead, they turned it into this way crazy, over-dramatic plot that feels like it's teenage fan fiction. So I think maybe that's why a lot of people are turned off by the game and it's not doing as well this time because they went too story-based. I'm just saying. I did play Doom 3 and I actually really like Doom 3. I thought Doom 3 was a perfect combination of survival horror and Doom gameplay. It starts off more survival horror, but becomes more classic Doom over the course of the game. A lot of people didn't like Doom 3 because they felt it went too realistic, too survival horror, but I actually really liked it. Oh, you were saying Digimon Cyber Sleuth is on Switch as a bundle. I don't know anything about Digimon or, like, I know of it, but I don't know what kind of games they are. I don't even know what Cyber Sleuth is. Yeah, I don't know. I did play Serious Sam back in the day. Yes, I did. I played Serious Sam 1 and 2 on PC. Then they reported the console, and I did co-op playthroughs of them. And then I think I played 3 as well. But I think that's where I ended. I don't think I ever played the future ones after that, because I think there was another one after that. Or did I? No, actually, I think I did play the last one too, didn't I? I think I did. The Onimusha 2 reviews will be out Tuesday. Okay, cool. King Ferb says, I think the problem is people don't want to spend $70 on a single player FPS, but then why don't they get Game Pass? No, I'm serious. You don't want to spend $70, then spend $20, get Game Pass, play the game once, and then cancel Game Pass. What is this weird thing that people, I have to own the game. You don't own it. You don't own it. You never own a video game. You don't own the rights to that video game. You don't. You never will. Don't you get it? You have the right to play the code of that video game. You don't own it. At any moment, someone could say, we're taking your rights away and steal the code back. And you have no right to play it. People have this weird thing about digital ownership. So get Game Pass, play it for this month, and then cancel Game Pass. $20. There's no problem here. The pricing should not be the problem here when it's on Game Pass. It's this weird consumer mentality of ownership that doesn't exist with video games. That's correct. The physical is a download. You buy the disc, the game's not on the disc. You still got to download it. Still a digital ownership anyway. So what's the difference? No, I don't think we're going to be checking out any trailers. Ava Cowboy fan. We'll probably talk another 5 minutes and then we'll end the show for today. I knew people would have a lot to talk about today because it's my day back. And tomorrow we're not doing a podcast. We're doing all Doom gameplay. So that way we can get extra far in Doom. So the next podcast will officially be Tuesday morning, everybody. Just so you know. What's my favorite Doom boss? I mean, probably just the Cyber Demon. Back when the Cyber Demon was a boss, because remember, over time they changed it. Then he was in like the mods as like a normal enemy. But the Cyber Demon is the coolest one, you know? This cybernetic devil shooting rockets and shit at you. Pretty cool. Are there many more mech? Okay, let me ask you this for those who played Doom the Dark Ages. How many more mech stages and dragon stages are there? Because I've been told that there's more, but I just beat chapter 9 and there's only been one of each. Because the mech stages are fast, which is good, but the dragon stages take a lot of time because you got to keep flying around and finding places to go, and each one has like a little mini dungeon or whatever. So it seems like they kind of even out. Like the mech stages go by quick, but then the dragon stages take extra long. A few more? So you're saying there's going to be like 2 more mech stages and 2 more dragon stages? Oh, man. Yep, remember midnight releases? That's a thing of the past now, right? Midnight releases used to be awesome. But now there's no point in even doing a midnight release. Why would you go to the store? What are you buying? Nothing. You're buying an empty box with the download code that you go home, you download. You could have just downloaded it at home, never had to go to the store. 3 mech levels, 3 to 4 dragon levels. Damn. So there's a lot more coming. I wonder if I'm right at a mech level now then, because we haven't done one in a long time. So I wonder if a mech level's coming up. We'll do one tomorrow. What would I like to see new in GTA 6? New gameplay elements that haven't been seen in GTA before. In GTA 5, it was the ability to on-the-fly switch between the 3 characters and live out their own kind of lives. I want something different in GTA 6. I don't want it to just be GTA again when we've waited this long. I definitely want it to be different, you know? I think that the difference in GTA 6 is going to be it's been so long that now they're going to have an engine that really simulates real life. So, like, when you're walking down the street in the game, it'll actually feel like around you is a real, like really going on. It's not just, you know, GTA population sim. It'll be real. Like, you saw in the trailer, you were driving down the highway and there was a car that got into a car accident and there's all crowds of people standing there and stuff. I feel like that's what the game will be. It's actually going to have AI that's going to have these things that's going to make it feel realistic, which might make it feel like a completely unique game you've never seen before. When was the last midnight release I went to? I don't remember, NJZ. I have no recollection of what the last one I did. I mean, I stopped buying physical games here around the time of the Star Fox game on the Wii U. I'm serious. Like, that was that, and I think ARMS I bought physical. Like, that's it. So I stopped buying physical games like almost a decade ago, so I don't remember. Alexander says, I'm surprised GameStop's still in business with everything digital. Yeah, I mean, GameStop, when you walk in, is a junk store now. It's a bunch of pop figurines that no one buys anymore. That fad's done. That business is actually failing now. No one wants them anymore. T-shirts, mugs, like you'll see a gameplay mug, something like that. You know, a little statue, a light, a collectible. Like, that's what they do now at GameStop. That's actually their bread and butter. They sell more junk than actual video games. So, you know, I mean, they've been financed by multiple different companies. You remember even Xbox sunk some money into them at one point. So, you know, you got to wonder what their longevity will be with their current model. I don't know, but they're hanging in there somehow, you know? I don't know how, but they are, because I don't know many people who are going there consistently anymore. Joe Aloft says, so what you're saying is if they combine Doom Eternal and Doom Dark Age mechanics, they'd have an amazing Doom? No. I think if they just made it like Doom 2016 again, where there is some story, but mostly it just plays like classic Doom, I think that would be the better formula. A lot of people liked Doom Eternal because Doom Eternal was nonstop adrenaline, but I didn't like that. I thought it was too much nonstop adrenaline and not enough, you know, world exploration, secrets, and interesting like aspects to the game. It was just kill, 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 kill. It gets boring, you know? You want more than just that, you know? So I don't know. Adam says that he bought 8 games at GameStop yesterday. They had 4 for $10 going on with certain used titles. I refuse to give up my precious plastic. Well, see, here's the thing. You might think, oh, wow, that's great. I went to GameStop and I was a customer. They made no money on that. You realize that, right? That's called inventory liquidation. They were just trying to get rid of those games because it probably cost more to hold it in the store than what you bought it for. So, like, just get rid of it. Sell it for a couple bucks each. So they're not making money. So, you know, Alexander's point is sound. How on earth is GameStop, you know, succeeding, or I should say existing? It's a good question. You having a good time with the collection, Usagi? I'm glad to hear that. If a Cowboy fan, I don't have any future or any further thoughts on Raidu because I haven't, you know, seen any more of it since we watched it that day. So I don't really know much about it besides what we saw. Like, it was a more action-based gameplay, but played kind of like, you know, it looked like Persona, right? All right, guys, it's time to end the show. Thank you for a great podcast. I hope that you enjoy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the very prominent early support before we even booted the game. Remember, tomorrow there is no podcast. I will be doing like a 10, 15-minute, hey, everyone, get ready for Doom. But then we're jumping right into Doom to try to get maximum gameplay, okay? So thank you guys for a very good stream. Thanks for a good return podcast. I appreciate you all. This is going to be a great 6-day streaming week. I can feel it. Thank you, and see you on Tuesday for the next show. Peace out, and see you then.